Alright everybody, here we are, and let's continue from here on. And the main focus is gonna be on the setup itself, so I hope this setup is gonna be ready really soon. I will be turning the chats off so that I can just simply focus on this thing only, one thing at a time, and let's continue from here. So the next thing I needed to do, just simply add this, and even I added this. After this thing got done, after that I had to configure my global style. I had to configure it something like this, mainly because I needed to use Shahed, and in order to use Shahed, I'm gonna be using this particular thing. So inside UI source styles and global.css, so that's actually gonna be this one. So this global.css that I actually have inside this, I will be just making it something like this. Let's look at the top, and over here I have tailwind CSS, so I will be getting rid of this thing, and remaining things are gonna be okay. Custom variant, dark and all, everything's fine. So ultimately I've even done this thing. Once this particular thing got done, after that let's continue, and just after this CN utility, so I'll have to create a lib folder inside that, and then I'll have to create a utility utils.ts, so let's even do that too. So just in here, inside my source, I'll be just having that utils folder file actually, and as for the code, I will be just simply copying this code, and I'll be just simply pasting this code here, and this is how it should be done. By the way, as for tailwind merge, I don't really have that here, and I don't even have this CLSX here. That's okay, I'll check this thing out. After all these things, I will be creating in the root of your UI package add components.json, so I will be even adding this thing, components.json. So inside my root file of UI, like over here, I have to add something like components.json, just like this, paste it over here. Almost things are done. After this, once I've even done this thing, import tailwind CSS animate @source package URI. Inside source styles global.css, I have to add source packages UI source CSS. What does this mean? Make sure your tailwind build includes UI components by adding this to your main.css file /packages UI source global.css. I will be adding this to tailwind to scan and include all the class names from the UI source directory. Otherwise they might get buzzed from the final CSS. Okay, I will be using this too, global.css. At the end of the day, I will be just I'll be having it in here. As for this button.tsx, I'm not gonna be having it over here, not quite required right now. Let's have it, who cares. And I'll just simply export it from here. So the last sourcing that was mentioned there, that's the same thing I'm gonna be having here. And I hope overall I've done the things that I was asked to do, and right now there is nothing remaining that I can actually do right now. So let's see whether it is gonna be working or not. After that, what else do I need to do? You are done using setup, and that's it. Then UI get main npx latest Shahed add latest button. Inside UI, I have to just run this, and it should be just simply adding the button and all, right. And after that, created a source components button.tsx, and I can just simply export that to from here. So installing dependencies. So let's even try this thing out right now. Control C, and let's paste it. So inside this npx Shahed add a button, and I hope button is gonna be added over here, but let's see what's gonna happen. So installing it right now and updating as for this button. So ultimately components got created. Inside my components, I do have my button.tsx, so that's really awesome. And then these are the buttons that I actually have. This button got automatically created, but here I have this error, class variant authority, or it corresponds to class. I am getting the error, and I have to get rid of them. In order to get rid of all those errors, I will be checking the package.json out, and inside this I will be installing some of the packages that were mentioned here at the beginning. And inside UI package.json I will be having what, global.css. I will be exporting global.css. Post config I will be exporting lib, everything from the component. So yeah, this is gonna be the export file. Why not, let's simply keep it here. So inside UI I have my exports here. These are the exports. I will be replacing it with the new one, comma, that should be fine. Apart from this particular thing, set up the next app, then I have to just simply set up the next app and start working with this. If it's already not included, add a directory provide and then pm install, export default from repo UI postgres config, post css config mjs, that is fine. And I think that's the same thing I'm doing inside that. So if I actually try this thing out, mjs, so config plugins @telling post css default repo UI post config, and that's the same config that I'm actually doing, following here. Just a sec. Create post css, so create a post css config mjs file in your list project, and then I'm just simply gonna be getting my post css config, and this post css config is actually being exported from here, and that's why I can even use that over there. That is actually fine. Okay, got this. So this would even be better. So instead of creating post css config again, like inside my apps, inside my web, instead of post css, where is that, this is the one, instead of creating it again, I can just simply import it. Okay, once this is imported, add a path, that is fine. Then web test ts config, so paths are gonna be source and UI path. Let's try this thing out. So inside my ts config, so this is the ts config of the web application, this is the one, and over here I do not have the path, so I will be adding the path just right here on my own. Once the path got added, so starting is gonna be source, and @repo is gonna be this. Okay, that's fine. And then lastly, what can I do? Lastly, I can update next config.ts, and what am I saying, that transpile package is gonna be @repo UI, ensures UI package is compiled. So let's check the next config thing over here, next config, and right now there is nothing mentioned over here, so I will be just using this particular code and simply replacing it with the current one. Again getting lots of errors, that's fine. And apart from this particular thing, inside components.json I even need to create a component.json inside that. So components.json, so web, inside the root file I have to create a components.json, and I have to paste it here. Once this thing is done, then import global @repo UI globals.css. globals.css, where do I have to import? Inside layout. So this time inside my layout, so globals is not needed here. So many things at the same time, but never mind. Inside my app, inside my layout.tsx, right now I'm importing this styles.css, rather I have to import this globals.css from the UI globals. Okay, and then page.tsx, this button is not quite needed right now, so I will be getting rid of this button just like this. And apart from this particular thing, next config is here. Let's do one thing, for a while let's simply run npm install, so that it actually installs everything, and once it is actually installed, then I will be checking the things out. So first error is this, type declaration is the problem. Just a sec. Import type declarations can only be used inside TypeScript, and this is the JS. Okay, so let me make it a next config.ts, and then this is gonna be fine. I hope I will not get the error because I'm using TypeScript, so I will have to go with that. Ensures UI packages are compiled, that's fine. Apart from this particular thing, where else am I facing the error? Inside my lib, inside my utilities, tailwind merge is the problem, that's fine. So let's go at the top. Almost things are done. Absolutely amazing block, saved my life, thanks man. Okay. I can just simply install some of the needed packages like Tailwind CSS. Fine, install Tailwind. Not this one actually. There were some other packages to install if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So what I'm installing, class variant authority CLX Tailwind merge is here. So let's simply install all the things again, and I will be installing them just right here like this. Okay, kind of getting the error, that is fine. And because they are not gonna be installed like this, so I will be just making some of the changes over here, and that's actually gonna be pnpm add, and I will be adding everything. And this is actually an amazing block, kind of actually helped me more than anything else. Like actually you have set up the things the best way possible. So inside components I have all my components, and that is it, nothing else. And right now I should be able to use this. Right now inside my components I have my button, and this is the button that I have. And this button, if I click on the package.json, so components and everything inside components, source components and everything is getting exported from here. So I can go to the components and I can just simply install the button if I'm not wrong, right? So let me close everything right now, and this is the overall setup. I will be even saving this setup so that I don't have to just worry about it. I don't have to worry about creating the setup again and again. But yeah, why not? This was the setup about that. Okay, never mind. So just like this, inside web, inside my page.tsx, this is the thing that I have. And over here what will I be doing? Over here I want to use my button, so I'll say that I need my button, and this button is gonna be coming from this particular path. Hi there, just like this. And as for the variant of this button, so variant is gonna be outlined just like this. And click me, and this is the setup that is ready right now. I hope it's gonna be running well. npm, first of all, let's even forget about npm, pnpm dev. But even before that I need to go few steps back. ls pnpm dev, and turns out we are getting some errors. That's fine, we will fix them. The first error is inside source styles.css that does not exist, so that is fine. This is mainly coming from UI section, bypass force, that's fine. First of all, let me do one thing. I'm gonna be building it, and especially when it comes to building, so let me delete this next thing from here, this turbo, and then this whatever the extra stuff that I have over here. From this it is done, and from my app web, okay, ws server, delete this. Inside packages I have db, delete everything, and then I have UI, delete it, and almost everything's right. What will I be doing next? pnpm just install everything. I mean everything is already installed, so pnpm just simply dev, and it should work fine. Again, one thing is specified input path source styles.css does not exist. Somewhere I just specified this path. Okay, let's simply click on this, and which is the path am I talking about here? This path has been specified somewhere, and that where I don't know. Okay, so inside my package.json have I specified that somewhere? Globals is styles global, fine, source, and I must have specified. Okay, I have specified all the things here, but the thing is that I was directly exporting the things from here, like without even when it comes to exporting them. So I'm directly exporting the tsx file, and they're being built over there. That's fine. That simply means that I don't need to do this. I don't even need to build them. Building in the sense I can remove this, I can remove this, and I can remove this too. So ultimately at the end of the day I can remove it all. I hope even without this it's gonna work, but let's see. Okay, turns out I have to just remove it directly from here. Can't I just comment it? Not really. So it's been removed directly from here, and once it is actually removed, then I don't need to build this. If I'm not building this, I will directly be able to import them. And let's try it up right now. pnpm dev, and yes, we are getting data. What is the problem? The problem is the @db can't find module @db or its corresponding things. It is unable to find. That's crazy. So far it's been just okay. Before even that, I will have to just build it. So pnpm just simply build everything so that they are actually accessible. Again getting the from where I'm getting it from index.ts. Can't find the module. Where is this actually coming from? This is coming from WebSocket server, because I have deleted everything. That is right. So inside WebSocket server this is not accessible. That's fine as well. So I can go to my WebSocket server, and inside dist they're saying that they're unable to get this. Inside my node modules I have repo, I have db, and I have this source. So ultimately I do have everything. So what is the problem? Okay, so turns out that this db has not been built yet. That is crazy. Let's see the reason behind this. So as soon as I ran pnpm build, this particular command never ran. That should not happen, but that actually happened. So as this command is never running, things are getting crazy. So what can I actually do? I can say one thing, that the build actually depends on it, right? So in order to get, like the way I have mentioned over here, that each time I'm gonna be running build, at that time I have this turbo.json file, and I'm just simply saying that my build depends on this particular thing. So can't I do the same thing here? Doing the same thing in the sense, Control C, I can go inside my db, and over here I can actually create my turbo.json file. I can paste the whole code, but not like this. I will actually remove it all from here like this, and I'll simply say it, the build depends on what? The build actually depends on the build. That is it. Just like this, and build package.json, and it should be fine. db build. Let's try this thing out. pnpm build, and let's run it. Okay, first thing is that @repo db build depends on itself. It depends on itself. Builds on build. So let's make it db build, and I can actually come here, and I'm gonna be making it db build. tsc build, it will be building. Will it be built? It turns out that I'm gonna be facing this error. Okay, so this particular thing is not quite working as expected. So what I can actually do, I can go here, and when it comes to getting it done, so db generate is gonna be there, and I'm gonna be saying that db build is also going to be there. I hope this time it's gonna be fine. Not really. This db build is okay. I will be just having this thing as well. Let's try it again one more time. Okay, cannot find other previously in db build in the root turbo.json file. It is just simply unable to find that. That means whatever I'm typing over here, that's not gonna be right. Interesting. db generate, it was able to find db generate because that was created there. That simply means that every time I run it, I will have to build this db file on my own. That should not be the case. So I can go to package.json. Let's just make it build. And how about if I run npm run build? At that time this is still not getting built. That is crazy. So I'll have to specifically build this before building anything else. Interesting. What can I do? There's only one solution for now, and I'm gonna be going with this packages.db and pnpm, and I will be just building this separately. Once this actually got built, then I don't really need to worry about anything else. I just needed that pnpm build, and that is it. I can run it, and things are gonna be working fine this time, if I'm not wrong. And it turns out here one thing is missing, HTTP server. Let's see what happens inside. Ultimately build worked. Okay, that was the only thing missing. npm dev, I can just simply run it right now, pnpm, and let's see whether it actually runs or not. Alrighty, so it turns out that my WebSocket server is running, my web app is running, my HTTP server is running, and that's it. I don't really need to worry about anything else. And when it comes to actually checking the results, so I can go here inside my web app that is actually running on 3000 port, and just wait for a while. Next.js is gonna take time to compile the things, and right now I'm getting the things like this. That is great, but the question is that why is the color red? Why is the color red? That is a good question, and in order to answer that, I have to go to web page.tsx, and I am using bgred 300, and it turns out that Tailwind is not working properly right now. Click me is fine here. Let's turn on the write mode, and if I actually keep the bgred right now, but it is actually working fine. Okay, that was mainly for the dark mode, and that is fine, and that's what I actually wanted. So I have this button over here, but this button is not quite styled the way I wanted it to be. So this is not the button let's make it outline. Let's remove this variant from here, and let's see if something happens with that button. Oh no, it is actually working the way I wanted, and I'm gonna be having few more buttons over here just like this. I will be giving variant as well, so variant is gonna be, let's give it default, and similarly over here variant, not value, variant is gonna be destructive, variant is gonna be ghost, and variant is gonna be outline, variant is gonna, come on, variant is gonna be secondary, and just like this. And let's check the things out, and overall things are looking like this. So this is the outline one, if I'm not wrong. So which one is the outline? Outline, click me, this one, outline, just like this. This is the outline one, and I'm not quite getting the outline. What is the difference? Why does it have this color? Let's give it some color as well. Some color in the sense class name bg green 500 or something, and now it looks like this. So as soon as I hover over this, it becomes like this. By default, it does have some kind of outline here. Alrighty, things are ultimately fine. The good thing of this setup is that right now there are some good things over here. First of all, Prisma is being used over here, so things are really amazing. I'm using Prisma in WebSocket as well. Apart from Prisma, I'm using Tailwind. Apart from Tailwind, I'm using Shahed. Apart from Shahed, I'm actually using Turbo Repo, and I'm using HTTP server, I'm using the AWS server, and lastly I'm using web app. And the thing is that things are actually organized the best way possible. So this is the benefit of using the things like this, and almost the whole setup is ready right now. So I will be just closing everything, and what will I actually be doing that let's stop everything, and once everything is actually stopped, get init, get a status, and get add just everything, get a status, get commit basic setup for basic turbo repo set up with tailwind, with Prisma, tailwind, shared CN, HTTP server, WS server, and web app. Just like this. This should be fine. Quite a long one, but yeah, it does belong to all of those categories, and that is it. Then get a status is gonna be like get log. This is the log that I have, and this is kind of the current log that I just added, and this is the basic schema. Amazing. What will I be doing next? So the next thing is I can actually do, this is just the basic schema, right? So let's quit it, and that is the main, and I can say get a checkout the basic setup. I will be creating a branch over here, and that's gonna be the branch of the basic setup. So get a branch. So right now I have two branches. I have main branches, I have the basic setup branch, and git switch, and that's gonna be the main one. I will be working on the main branch, but meanwhile I do have a branch of the basic setup. So this is gonna be the branch of the basic setup, where I have all the basic setup ready. So ultimately when it comes to the get log, so ultimately the setup of what? The setup of first of all turbo repo. I'm using turbo repo with proper Prisma, with the tailwind, with the shared CN, with the HTTP server, WebSocket server, and web app, of course, that is there. And the whole setup is this, and everything is functional. I've even organized the things in the best way possible. Inside UI I even have a shared CN and all. The only thing is that inside this I'm having to just build the client in my DB, and then I'm just simply exporting my client. Apart from this thing, I'm not even building anything anywhere. So even when I'm using shared CN over here, so I'm directly exporting shared CN, I'm directly exporting all the components. Having said that, I will be importing installing the components as needed. Right now I only have the button, and this button comes from shared CN. All the designs and all, everything came from the shared CN. Similarly, I can just add more and more, and this is how it's simply gonna be going on. So the goal was to get the setup ready, basic setup ready, turbo repo with Prisma, with tailwind, with shared CN, and we got that done. Okay, next time onwards we are actually gonna be focusing on the business logic, or planning the things exactly how should we do it. To summarize, or to just in a nutshell, I must say the main goal is to just simply work on the clone of WhatsApp. We haven't even started that, except for this schema. We have created this schema, but we haven't really started working on that. So from tomorrow onwards I will actually start working on that particular thing. And as for the schema, this is these are the pages of WhatsApp that I actually have to create. So kind of almost each and everything we will be working, and it will be like a WhatsApp like project. So most of the things are gonna be inspired from WhatsApp, so it will be even looking like that. So now I'm gonna be catching up tomorrow. As for now, I'm just gonna be calling it right here. But even before calling it, there was a to-do that I had. What was the to-do? If I go through my notes long time ago, ultimately 2 weeks ago, I learned about aggregation, MongoDB aggregation. Since then, I never got the chance of revising that. So why not, let's take this opportunity and get everything revised. So I can go to important topics. The good thing is that whichever topic I learn, I just simply create the notes. And once the notes are created, I don't face any difficulty revising the things and all. So right now we will be having a quick revision of MongoDB aggregation, including everything, and let's see how it's gonna be going on. So let's just simply zoom it a bit. First of all, we have a database using this again. Wherever I'm using my database, that is the name of the database. Wherever I'm using users, that is the name of the collection. As simple as that. By the way, this is gonna be a quick revision of MongoDB, all the methods and all the aggregation step and all. I will not even be coding if it gets hard to understand. For me, I will be coding. otherwise I will just simply be revising that. So show DBS simply shows all the database. Use my database will help you just to use that. Then DB drop DB drop. Let me remove this. It's actually gonna be like this. Drop database, just like this, if I'm not wrong. Just a minute. How to drop a database in MongoDB. So DB drop database, this is the command that's actually used. DB drop database. So that was mistakenly written, sorry for that. So it should be DB drop database. And then if I want to show collections, I will be using show collections. If I want to create any collection, DB create collection will simply create the users collection. And if I want to drop that particular connection, so DB users and drop will drop that particular collection. Dropping in the sense will be removing that. Okay, now how can you insert the values? So you can insert the values using insert one or insert many. Inside insert one, you will only have one object, but inside insert many, you can have many objects inside an array, as simple as that. Let's talk about find. How can you find that? So using find and using find one, you can find the values. Inside this, you can just actually add your queries, and again find will find all the documents. Find one will only find one document. That's it. Then when it is you can even import and export the data. Importing and exporting means you can import the JSON type data in your MongoDB terminal, Mongo SH ultimately. To be precise, you can import the data in your Mongo database, and you can export the data from Mongo database to the JSON files and all. So first of all, if you want to import the data, so MongoDB, it's simply easy. So suppose you have some data in JSON format in a file on your maybe download folder of your PC or anywhere, and you can just simply specify everything and it will be done. So Mongo import will be importing what will be the database name. So the database name is my database, that can be anything. The collection name is users, that can be anything. The file name is data.json. Over here, instead of writing data.json, you can write any path over here. So at the end, you need to have the file name, but before that, the path should be specified. This data.json is in the current directory, that is why I'm just writing the name over here. Having said that, you can specify the proper path like /download/ data/data.json and all. And at the end, json.array, this is optional. If the data that you have that is the JSON data, and that is in the form of an array, so there is an array, and inside the array there is the JSON data. At that time you will be using JSON array, otherwise you will not be using that. You can directly use this. This is the first thing. Then there is something called Mongo export. Again, instead of using DB, you can use D as well. D is the short form of database. And again, you will be entering my database over here. C stands for collection, so this is the short form, and O stands for output. Exactly where do you wanna output the data? So from your database, you will be outputting the whole data in a file, JSON file. When working with container, this is really an important thing. Suppose you have actually created a container, a real container using Docker, of course. So if you have ever used the container, you must have the idea about that. So suppose you have used the container, how will you actually and the file is in your download folder, okay, of your PC, so of your Explorer window I'm talking about. So the file is in the download folder, and you have a running container. How will you bring that data in the container and save that data in the DB? For that thing, first of all, you are doing this thing, cat will simply cat the data, cat in the sense show the data. So cat sales.json, suppose this is the file's name. So first of all, you are catting that, cat in the sense it will be displayed. Once it got displayed, you are using a pipeline over here. This pipeline will simply send all the data that gets rendered over here to further commands. Okay, so this pipe is used for passing the data. It's just like that. And once the data is passed, where is the data getting passed? Over here you are saying Docker execute. You are executing it. Executing in the sense there is a container running, and by executing it you can go inside the container. So in the interactive mode in the sense you will be able to interact with the container and all. So as soon as you are going inside that, you are not going alone. This whole data is going with you, because this sales.json's data is actually being passed using this pipeline. So you also have that data, and once you have data, now you are inside the container. So it's like you you held the data with you, you grabbed the data, now you went inside the container, and inside the container you are simply saying that I have to run MongoDB. docker execute, this is the name of the container. So this is how, either there are two options, either you can have the id of the container over here, or you can have the name of the container, depends on you. This is the name of the container, the running name. You must know that if you know the Docker. I'll have to pick up the call, just a sec. Alright everybody, here I'm back. I hope I'm audible and all. Let me even check that thing. And I am just simply gonna be revising everything in a quick glance, and then I'll be getting the things done. So I was just simply talking about this thing. Like first of all, you are just getting the data over here using this pipeline. First of all, you are getting the data, getting in the sense rendering. I mean, getting that from the file, and after that you are passing the data using this pipeline. And over here you are just simply executing. Ultimately going inside the Docker in the interactive mode, and then once you are inside the Docker, you are just simply importing the data. The database is gonna be aggregation, collection is gonna be the say list, and you are dropping the data. You are not specifying any files name over here, rather you are just simply dropping the data, and this is how things just simply go on. That's it. Apart from this particular thing, we have some comparison operators: equals to, not equals to, greater than equals to, less than equals to, in and not in. Pretty simple, not really gonna be talking much about them. Then we have some cursor methods over here. Count will count, limit will limit the result, skip will skip some of the results, and sort will sort the result. So inside sort, you will have to just specify some query as well, like on the basis of this particular field I wanna sort the things. Then we have some kinds of logical operators, and, or, not, nor. Pretty much simple, no need to worry about that. If you still have face any difficulty, you can just simply go through the documentation. Then we have expressions. What is the use of expression? Expressions are mostly used for some difficult operation where you have to just multiply two things and then you have to compare them as well and all. So over there we just use expressions. So over here I'm just finding it based on this particular expression. So what is the expression? Over here I'm checking greater than or equals to, and what am I gonna check? I'm gonna be checking the size of the comment. So this dollar sign simply gives me the size of the comments. So whether this size of comment is equals to 2 or not. If that is equals to 2, then I will be returning something, otherwise I will not be returning. Pretty much easy. Then we have something called exist, type, and size. These are the elements operator. Exist simply checks whether that particular field exists in your document or not. Type mainly checks the types of that particular field, and dollar size checks the size of that particular field. There is a difference between this size that I'm using over here and this size that I'm talking about over here. This size simply returns you the size, and this size simply measures or compares the size. Okay, let me even go through that. So first of all, comments dollar size equals to 2. So this dollar, this dollar size is mainly kind of comparison that simply compares whether the size of this comment is equals to 2. And over here, when you use actually this particular size, dollar size comments, so you are actually getting the size and then you are comparing. So this is the main difference. Then we have something called projection. Projection is mainly used for projecting some of the fields. So if you wanna project all the fields, you can if you wanna just project all the fields, then you don't really need to worry about that. But if you wanna just project some specific fields, so at that time you can just write one in front of them, like field 1, field 2. Of course the field's name should be there, and then that particular field should be projected. Then we have something called embedded, and the most important thing here that we have $all and we have $lm. $all and $lm, both of them are for arrays. First of all, this thing, the difference between them is that $all will simply check all the documents, like all the kind of properties of an array. So there is an array that contains lots of objects, so it will be checking the all one object's fields or values, and $lm will check elements, like elements can be of multiple ones. So $all, let me even show that, comments.find, comments.user, and comments.user in the sense inside comments there is a property called user. Inside that, what I wanna check, I mainly wanna check that there should be Alice and there should be Vinod. So as simple as that, what I simply mean, this is the array, right? Inside this particular array, I have named Alice, I have named Vinod, and what I'm checking, I'm using $all over here. Dollar in the sense, all the things that are here inside this particular array, they should be checked, and on the basis of that thing return the result. So I'm just simply checking the comment.user, like inside comments there are many objects, and inside those objects there is a property called user. So I'm gonna be checking those users, and if those users are Alice and Vinod, I will be returning those particular documents. What is the use of lm match? Lm match kind of simply match the whole element. $all inside an array, you will get lots of values kind of items, and those items should definitely be equals to the comments dot user, ultimately any specified field. So $all is used over there. $match mainly used for matching the elements, the whole element. So inside one array you can have many elements, and $element will only match one of them. So over here what you are saying, user should be Alice, text should be awesome article, only that time just simply return that particular comment, as simple as that. So you are just simply saying that there is an array called comments. Inside that I'm using $lmatch. LMatch means it simply matches the elements. The name specifies everything. $all. So whatever there is inside the array, all of them are gonna be matched, and on the basis of that thing result is gonna be returned. $element-match, LMatch, will match the element, and matching the element means it will match the whole element, and when it matches the whole element, that means the user should be Alice, text should be this, only then so it matches the whole element, as simple as that. So this is the main difference. And if you just have a look at the name $all, whatever is inside the array, compare all of them, return the result. $element-match, element match, it will match the element, as simple as that. Okay, by the way, then there is something called update, and we have two things, update one, update many. Pretty simple. You can set the value, you can unset the value. Set means you can set some values. Again, if you have ever worked with MongoDB, I'm talking about Mongoose ORM, MongoDB ORM, mainly I'm talking about Mongoose over here. So when working with Mongoose, this set is optional. Whether you use set while updating or not, it's up to you. But when you are working with pure MongoDB, at that time if you do not use set, you will get the error. Unset means remove that. So set is used for setting some values, unset is used for removing some values, rename is used for renaming that. So you will have to enter the current name, then the new name, and that's it, it will be changed. $push is used for, there is an array field. Okay, so you have a document. Inside that document there is a field, that field contains an array, so that is an array. So inside that you can just simply push the values, and $pop will simply be popping the values and all. Popping in the sense it will be removing. You can know more about it, but overall this is how it simply goes on. Again, we have some examples over here. First of all, you need to find the document that you want to update. So ID 7 comments user using Alice. I'm just simply finding that, and this is really a special example because here I'm actually gonna be changing the a particular object that is inside the array. So comments is the array. Inside the comments there are many elements, kind of many objects, and inside those objects, one of those objects I'm gonna be changing. So how will I be changing? First of all, I'm finding the particular document. Okay, I found the particular document with the ID number 7. Then I'm inside that document, I'm checking because I have to change the user inside that. So I'm checking whether the user is Alice or not. So ultimately I found the document using these two queries. After that I'm setting, and what I want to set, I don't want to set that particular element, rather I have to set the values inside that particular element, the values inside that particular object. So I'm just simply saying that $set. What do I want to set? I want to set the text of what? There is comment. Inside comments there are many comments, and those comments are form of an object. So inside comments there are many objects, and I want to change the text of one of those objects. How will I find that object? Using this ID should be 7 and comments.user should be Alice. Based on this I found that particular object, and after that I'm just simply changing the text. Why am I using dollar over here? This is called positional operator. Why do I need this? Because of course you are talking about an object inside an array. So comments is an array, text is a field of an object inside the array, and that is why you are just simply using dollar over here ki find the right text, and when you found the right text, change the text, convert it, and it will be done. Text field is a object, text is a field of the object inside the contents array. That's what I've been talking about. Then there is something called delete. You can use delete one, you can use delete many. Inside delete you can put your queries, you can add your queries, and you are done. Explain will simply explain. So whatever queries you are running, if you wanna know more about them, so you can explain, or you can execution states simply tells you more about that. So explain simply gives you some information, and execution stats simply tells you about the execution as well, like how long it actually took in the execution, how much time it actually took for the running the query and getting the result and all. So this is the main difference between them. The normal version is explained. You can directly use that, you will get more information about your query. Execution stats, if you just add it here, so it will give you the more information about execution of the query, as simple as that. Okay, let's continue. Then we have something called indexes. The question is, why do we use indexes? Indexes are used to just store the data in such a format so that it's easily queryable. That means it's easily searchable, as simple as that. So whenever you index a particular field, so that field's data, ultimately that particular field gets saved in such a manner, in such a format that that can easily be accessed, and that is why we use indexes. Having said that, if you are using index, make sure that you are not using indexes on a really long document. Otherwise, what will happen if there is a lot of documents and you are using indexes over there? So there could be possibility that the indexing process itself gonna take a lot of time, so you need to be aware of that. By the way, if you wanna create the index, we can create the index like this: field 1 and -1. Again, 1 is gonna be for ascending order, -1 is gonna be for descending order. If you wanna get the indexes, you can get the indexes like this. If you wanna drop the index, you have to just enter the field name, and 1 will simply drop the index. Not only that, you can even enter the field name, so drop index and field name, and that will be dropped automatically, so you don't need to worry about that. Having said that, this particular field name is automatically created. Okay, if you wanna create the unique index, unique in the sense, okay, the index that I'm creating, that particular field should be unique itself. So at that time, you can just simply add unique true over here, and that will be done. Then there is something called creating the index based on the text. So field is actually gonna be the text. Over here you will have the field name, and field name will contain the text first of all, and on the basis of those texts, so suppose there is name, on the basis of the name, I'm actually on the basis of that, or maybe there is description, so on the basis of that, or maybe there is a name, so on the basis of that, I'm actually creating the field. Once the field is created, so we can easily search. So suppose there is description, and I'm just simply creating the index based on the text of the description. And right now, whenever I want to search something, so I'm gonna be searching based on the text. This is gonna be the search keyword I will be using, and this is where I will be adding the keyword. So suppose there is a description and I gave hello, and if that hello is in the description, I will be getting those documents. If that is not, I will not be getting. This is how it just simply goes on. Having said that, the same thing you can check using regex. So there is suppose description field, and over there regex and keyword should be in the field, and if that is there, then I will be getting the result. Otherwise I will not be getting the result. So far so good. Let's talk about aggregation. And the thing is that when I actually learned it, I taught it. Taught in the sense, I learned aggregation, and then I started teaching on YouTube. Kind of I started re-explaining. Because of that thing, even right now, I just started going through the things, and I'm able to explain the things in such a manner that it feels like I just learned them yesterday. By the way, inside aggregation, we have match, we have group, we have many things, we have many operators. But the main thing of aggregation is that you have many pipelines. So you work on a pipeline, then you get the result, then the result gets passed to the second pipeline, and this is how you keep working on the data. You keep returning the response goes to the next pipeline, the same thing happens, and this is how at the end you get your result. So first of all, we have $match will be used for matching the data. So that's what we are doing over here. We are matching the data based on the price, where the price should be greater than 1200. So we got the data. Once we got the data, we are unwinding that. What does this unwind do? Unwind simply splits your data. So it splits your data on the basis of the colors. So suppose the color is actually an array. So this particular color that I'm actually talking about, $colors. So this is an array of many colors. So unwind will actually unwind the data. It will split the data, and as there are gonna be as many documents as there are colors. So it will split the data based on the color. So if there are 10 colors, 10 documents will be created just because of this unwind, as simple as that. And after that, you are just simply grouping the data at the end. So what you did, first of all, you found the data, then you unwinded the data. That means you split the data on the basis of the colors. Okay, colors is an array, and inside that array there are many colors. On the basis of those colors, as many colors are there inside the array, as documents will be created. As many documents will be created. Okay, by the way, and then dollar group, on the basis of dollar group, you are just simply gonna be grouping the data. How can you group the data? You will have to specify a proper field. Okay, on the basis of this field, I wanna group the data. Over here, on the basis of the price, I wanna group the data. So if there are 3 products, they have the price 50, so they will be grouped together. If there are 2 products have the price 20, they will be grouped together. So products with the same price will be grouped together. That's it. And then what I'm doing, I'm even adding the price. So I just wanna get the first dollar first, simply returns me the object or the value of the first document. So kind of you have grouped the data. So now suppose there is a price 50, and inside that 50 price there are 5 documents grouped. Now dollar first will only give me the result of first document, but it doesn't matter because the price in all those documents are same. So even if there are 10 documents inside first group, okay, that the group you created, there are 10 documents under those under that particular group, but it doesn't matter because the price will be the same, because you have grouped on the basis of the price only. So price will be the same in all those documents, and that is why you are getting the value of the first document, and that is okay. Then all colors, you are just simply pushing all the colors inside the colors. So what you are saying, you are creating an array called colors, and you are just pushing $colors. $colors in the sense, right now $colors is just a simple color name, because of course you have unwinded that, and that will be pushed to the all colors. As simple as that. Instead of using this $push, you can even use a $add to set. That will be just again doing the same thing, will be creating an array, but that will be creating a set. Set in the sense values are not gonna be repeated in that. Okay, so I think the same thing I'm doing over here. $add set simply adds the same, does the same thing, but you are not, repeated values are not gonna be there. $project simply projects the values. Projects in the sense will specify some of the values that you want. I want ID, I want all colors, I want color length as well. Having said that, you can even create new things. So that's what I'm doing over here. And even there is a operator called $add field will simply add the field too. So here you are projecting, you can actually add the data in the data that you get. So we will be even talking about that. $size, $colors, and this is how we go ahead. Limit simply limits the values and all. Fine, let's continue. Then unwind, we unwinded the data group, we just got everything done. We, with the help of skip, we can skip the data and then continue from here on. I'm not gonna be talking much about them. Things are easy if you actually give it a try. Okay, I'm gonna be talking about it. Inside project, you can have the values, but you can have the filtered values. Filtered value in the sense, let's talk about that. First of all, what you are doing, you wanna project the values. Project in the sense, I want my name. So project simply says that, okay, how many fields do you want to project to the user? So I want my name. Then what I'm saying, I want the values, but I want to calculate the values. I want to filter the values. So how will I be filtering the values? So I will be filtering the values. First of all, this simply says that, okay, I'm gonna be filtering the values. What is going to be input? There is an array called values. Okay, from that particular array, I have to filter the values. I am using $dollar over here. So $dollar will be used for the fields or for the operators. So whenever you are using any operator in MongoDB, you are using $. Whenever you are working with any field, you are using $. But when you are actually working with a variable, at that time you will be using $. So you got the input, okay, and from those values you are just getting the value, and this value actually becomes a variable over here. So I can just simply say that this is gonna be field field over here, but when it comes to this value, so this value is actually a variable over here, just like this. Alrighty, so this is actually gonna be a variable over here, and because you are just using variable over here, that is why you are using $. So condition is gonna be this. On the basis of this condition, things are actually gonna be kind of filtered. So condition is key greater than the value. The value inside the value should be greater than 30. If that is greater than 30, the values are gonna be filtered. Inside values, you will be getting all those things. Otherwise, you will not. Simple. Let's talk about lookup. Lookup simply looks up the data. It's like joining data together. Okay. So inside lookup, what you do? First of all, you have from collection. Like from this collection, I wanna look up, and then what is the local field? Field from the input document. So and foreign field from the documents of the form. There should be matching things, right? Only then you can just look up the data. So there should be something in your current document, and there should be something in the foreign document that match, and on the basis of that thing you will be just looking up the data, and at the end you will be just giving it the name. That's it. So first of all, what you are doing, okay, I'm looking I'm looking for the data from the projects. Okay, you are looking for the projects. Where are you? I'm inside the employees. I'm looking for the data from the projects. Local field, what is the local field? Local field is the ID of the employees, and on the basis of the employees I will be looking for the projects. So foreign field is gonna be employees. So this employees is actually the ID. Okay, so this employees actually belong actually is just an ID, and I'm comparing both the IDs. If they are compared, I'm gonna be returning the result as projects. As simple as that. And this is just gonna be the name as projects. So when I'm gonna be getting, so I will be getting just all the related information of the projects in this particular name, and it will be just simply appended. Okay, the output is gonna be something like this. You got all the information related to the employees, then at the end you got the project as well. This is how actually it works. Okay, so I don't really need to explain anything at all over here, and that is it. If there is no project, you will be getting an empty array. If there are projects, you will be getting the more information, and it will just keep going on and on like this. Then there is something called out. Out simply creates a new collection, as simple as that. So if you are saying employees aggregate out $out new collection, so a new collection will be created automatically. output will be written to a new collection named a new collection. That's what I was saying. Add fields, simply add a new field in your data. Suppose you are finding the data, you are using aggregation and you found the data, all the data came here, and now you are just adding a bonus. How are you going to be adding bonus? You are just multiplying the salary and 0.1, and by multiplying them you are getting the bonus, and this bonus field will be added. Interesting. Then there is something called replace root. Replace root simply replaces the whole root. So you have the root by default. Suppose by default this is the root that you had, this is the root that you had, it will be replaced all together. So just a sec, if you know then it would be better, otherwise it's gonna be, I know, hard, sorry for that, but I'm just simply revising the things. So what you are doing, first of all you are matching the documents based on the name alias. After that you are replacing the root and you are actually creating the new root. And what is gonna be the new root? New root is gonna be department and $department. $department, what does this do? I just want to get the value of $department field if I'm using just dollar, and that's what I'm getting over here. Okay. So this thing is also got done. Then there is sample. Sample will simply create the sample. Sample in the sense there are many documents in your database. Now $sample will just simply give you some random 2 documents. It's just like that. Okay. Then randomly selects documents. That was I was talking about. Sub pipelines. Facet. This is really important. That inside a pipeline you can actually use some sub pipelines. Okay. So what you are doing, using $facet, you are using 2 sub pipelines. So first of all, this is the pipeline, like a department status pipeline, skill set pipeline. So department status, this is the field that you are creating. Skills list, this is the field that you are creating. Inside that you have different pipelines. You will get the data from those pipelines, and the data will be assigned to this particular field. So what you are saying, first of all you are using $group. Based on the $group, what you are doing, you are actually adding grouping all the data kind of departments, and once you have grouped the departments, then you are getting the average salary, and average salary is gonna be the salary of them. That's pretty much simple. And after that what you are doing, there is second skill, and you are first of all unwinding based on the skills, and you are then grouping the data based on the skills, and that's pretty simple thing. Grouping the data based on the skills in the sense the documents are gonna be grouped based on the skills. Similar types of skills are gonna be together. Pretty simple. Output is gonna be like this. I will have departments over here. I will have HID and this ID and average salary, and as for the skill set I will have the ID with those particular skills and all. So this is how it simply goes on. Then we have something called redact. Redact simply hides the data. Hides in the sense based on some conditions you can just simply hide the data. So I'm just simply saying that $aggregate condition is gonna be what? Condition is that if dollar equals to, so dollar confidential, I have a confidential field, if that is equals to false, so this is the condition that I'm actually using over here. So if that is equals to false, in that case I have to descend in the sense hide, otherwise I am gonna be pruning that. That means I'll make it visible. As simple as that. There is something called buckets. Okay, these were the few things that I actually didn't learn much about them. Like this was actually the last thing, $bucket. And what it actually does that $bucket, you have $salary, so you got your salary, you grouped them by salary. Once they are grouped by the salary, you are just simply specifying the range. So you want the data from this particular range to this particular range. Default is gonna be other, output is gonna be count and $sum. So all the salaries that are between this particular range, you will be just simply outputting them, and this is how it just simply gets done. Quite good thing. And then we have some of the examples over here. We don't really need to go through these examples because I've already gone through a lot, so I don't think this is gonna be the appropriate thing. Over here you are using something called MongoDB, and this is the URI, and then you are connecting to the MongoDB, and once you are connected, you got the client. Once you got the client, you can just simply make a request. First of all, you are connecting to the client. Once you are connected to the client, that's it. You can make a request and all, and that's it. It's gonna be done like that. And client is equal to DB shop, and client collection products insert one, and this is how it will just simply keep going on. And that was it about aggregation too. It's been kind of a lot in the sense it's been kind of a headache for me, that I have to do it. It was even headache of getting the setup ready, like how would I even get the setup ready. Now the setup is also ready. This thing is also done. MongoDB aggregation is also done. That's amazing actually.